Poor policing. But anyways, you don't hear about Ashley Babbitt enough. But anyways, we haven't forgotten about her. Anyways, so Prince Harry claimed Britain's Prince Harry has sharply attacked the failure of social media companies to challenge hate online. So now Harry is actually trying to use the highly politicized January 6th events with his campaign for censorship. This all goes back to attacking freedom of speech. Everything Harry and Meghan do, everything they say is to attack our freedom of speech. That's what they're trying to take away. That's the basis. Everything that they're doing, everything that's going on, so with the Sussex Squad and everything else, it's all going back to that. It's all.
By the way, in some of these cases, they weren't even claiming that misinformation was out there. They just didn't like what people were saying or the messaging. But the bulk of censorship requests, he writes, did not come from government directly. They came from state agencies like DHS, FBI, and so on, but also these NGOs that are not academic. He said, they turned out to be unexpectedly aggressive in trying to censor people. Who are these NGOs? What does it mean? Like, who are these groups? Well, he goes through it, and he says it's groups like the National Endowment for Democracy, the Atlantic Council's DFR Lab, Hamilton 68's creator, the Alliance for Securing Democracy, most of which nobody's ever heard of. Then he says that the Aspen Institute, receives millions of dollars from both the State Department and other U.S. governments. It held a star-studded confab in Aspen, August 2021, where they all went. They were all there, figuring out how they could censor our speech. And the report ultimately produced was co-authored by somebody named Chris Krebs, who's the founder of DHS's cybersecurity whatever group, Katie Couric, Yoel Roth of Twitter. We've already seen him freaking out over things like January 6th and COVID. Wait for it, Stu. Everything comes full circle. Prince Harry. Prince Harry was a commissioner of this group. Prince Harry, who is on record as saying he thinks the First Amendment is, quote, bonkers, had his hand in putting, Twitter's hand over our mouths, over all of our mouths. There is no end to the nefariousness of this couple and where they use their limited powers to try to silence Americans. And then they go on, he goes on to talk about how, hold on a second, I want to get the right quote. Twitter sometimes push back on people like Prince Harry and these others, telling them who is not a bot, what can be said and what cannot on things like vaccines or elections. But they say in general, they instantly defer, Twitter did, to sites like PolitiFact, which is funded by the very same names that fund those NGOs who are trying to silence us all in the first place. You see how it works? I got to say the Prince Harry thing was not expected, but everything else was.
I didn't see that one coming. No, it is amazing though. This is what happens. PolitiFact is a great example of this. They've always had left-wing funding pouring into to this organization, and they've been constantly fact-checking left-wing figures lightly and right-wing figures harshly. And they've been doing this forever. They can select which quotes they want to fact